What's up, Gary?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
What's your name?
Arthur Leopold. So to your entrepreneurship point, on your Snapchat 2-3 weeks ago, you asked for people to write in or tell you what they wanted, what their goals were. You're sort of contradicting that today, saying you want to get like that Bain McKinsey feel before you just like go in and call it quits to become an entrepreneur. It's something I've been struggling with personally.
Yeah.
You and I first interacted when I was on the Obama campaign back in the day, and I wanted you to do some wine tastings.
Yep.
I was an entrepreneur then. I then went to finance. I went to LinkedIn, and I still have great ideas, but I feel like I'm too afraid to make a jump into being an entrepreneur again.
Yeah.
So like, what advice would you have, given I feel like I can comfortable saying this because we're all about transformation.
Yeah.
What advice would you have to like taking a step away from your day to day that you love and you really enjoy, but your end game is somewhere else?
I think you have to calibrate if you're an entrepreneur or if you have entrepreneurial tendencies. And I think this is something that's not being talked about enough either, which is, to me, and I'm one guy, so I don't get to say what it is, but to me, the definition of an entrepreneur, you can't work at LinkedIn, ever. Like there was no, I was gonna work somewhere, right? I couldn't even rap, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't even do school. I became an F student because by 14, now I'm probably all the way over here. For the more normal conversation, I think it comes down to that conversation you're having in your head all the time. To me, I love entrepreneurship and the process so much that I need nothing. I don't need, I want to sleep on the floor with 4 buddies in a studio in Hoboken because entrepreneurship is more interesting to me than a nice watch, right? I mean it. It's a very simple equation. You can do it, you just have to give up a lot of shit. And are you willing to? And that's it. And so there's no advice. There's just the conversation you're having with yourself and recognizing that you can have, and you know what's amazing about the internet? You can do both. This didn't exist before. That's why I wrote Crush It. The first book I wrote was really just about, 9 p.m. to 2 in the morning. If you're complaining so much and you don't wanna have a job, but you have to feed your family or pay off your college loans, good news. Your parents didn't have this option, but all of you do. Go home, and instead of watching fucking Breaking Bad, work. And work from 9 to 2 in the morning for long enough until you built something that allows you to switch. It's quite practical. And there's nothing I can, and you're right, I do contradict myself because the advice is not for, everybody's got their own advice. I don't know everybody individually. If we hung for 30 days, I'd probably be able to give a much better answer. But I will say this, if you have entrepreneurial tendencies, that should become your full-time 24/7, 365 hobby. No more bowling, I've never been to a happy hour in my fucking life. You know what I mean? This is time to do what you want to do if you really want it. On the flip side, maybe it's not. In the flip side, there's a lot of times that I wish I had more balance in my DNA. Being on the bowling team sounds kind of cool. Being able to relax and not know that everything is your fault is kind of interesting. When it's yours, it's all every single problem at VaynerMedia, Wine Library, and Vayner Capital is 100% my fault because I empower everybody else that's fucking up. So there's a lot of pressure with that. I don't know if that answered it, but
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Hey Gary, I'm Jesse.
Hey Jesse.
Really specific question.
Good.
I like you, I like the grind.
Thanks.
Sounds crazy, but I do.
Me too.
Question is, aside from revenue,
yes,
aside from traction, aside from seeing your business growing, how do you measure it? How do you measure your grindability?
That's a good question. A lot of different ways. First, I measure on impact. How many emails am I getting on a day that are similar to that question or the result of something I did that impacted? So the Daily V stuff, wherever the fuck you see, and the Ask Gary V show and the books and taking an hour and doing this is hopefully for one person to get, or one person hearing that answer over there saying, fuck, that's right. Impact. What's really, money's awesome, right? And more followers and bullshit metrics, that's fine. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is like getting an email every single day of your life, or 2 or 4, that start with, you changed my fucking life. Now, when you're scared shitless of the word guru and you don't want to be Tony Robbins or Oprah or The Secret, you're pushing in the other direction too. But I'd be lying if I didn't say the most important measuring stick I have is that for some unknown reason, through my energy and my communication style, I've been able to break through and help people. It's just, I don't feel comfortable making $50 to $100 million a year just being that, because I myself have cynicism around that. And so I identify with myself as being an entrepreneur operator. So I need to build things. But to me, I laugh. I think digital agencies, all these digital shops, they've all become my friends and contemporaries. They would be devastated if they realized that I was able to build a much bigger business than they have they've been running for 12, 15 years. I've tripled their size in 4, and if they realized that I'm not spending 100% of my time doing that, it would really fuck with them, right? To me, I take enormous pride in the operations part, but I'm pumped that I still have 20 to 25% of my time that I'm giving back to the overall community, and I'm guilted into it. I actually, in 2000, when I stopped the Wine Library TV, I kind of wanted to walk away completely and just build businesses. And then I just kept getting emails from Crush It. And they're the emails are intense. My fucking dad died, and then this happened, and then I watched 38 seconds of a YouTube video and good things happened. You start getting worried I started honestly saying, am I selfish to the narrative? I always say, don't be romantic, right? About other things. I was like, fuck, I'm being romantic to be respected as a businessman, and I don't want to be this guru thing. But meanwhile, the only person that benefits is what I want the narrative to be. Meanwhile, all these people, and so that's really how I measure it. Am I capable of putting my ass on 2 toilets of both being a businessman and both being content that drives results for others? I know that's not, that's my personal way of doing it. And I think everybody's got their own version of that, right? Are you happy about the way you are as a parent? Do you feel good about yourself as a citizen of the world? Are you deploying enough energy against NGOs and nonprofits? What's the other part of you, even though you're grinding 24/7, that you feel good that you're bringing to the table, is how I think about it.
When you're looking at investing in a medium or a new channel, whether it be Snapchat, Pinterest, the internet way back when, how do you measure adoption versus perception? So when do you know the iron's hot looking at Snapchat, which a lot of people still think is this sexting thing college kids use?
Most people think.
Right. And I'm sure we could get Donald Trump to put a LinkedIn shirt on, and a lot of people would see it, but it would speak negatively because of perception. How do you know and judge that? It seems like you're pretty good, so.
Because I trust the masses over the tastemakers, right? Because the LinkedIn t-shirt would get negative responses from the authorities and the tastemakers, but maybe not from the masses. So for me, being super immigrant and quite average in pretty much everything but this little thing that we're focused on in this talk, and just, just remembering where I come from. I don't know, I feel much closer to Sally, Arkansas than I feel in my body to any of my rich friends that now surround me 24/7, 365. It's the taste in my, it's funny, I ran into Clive Davis, right? His son was came up, I met him somewhere and we were at a Knicks game the other day, and he's like, meet my dad, and I was talking to him for a little bit. And I thought it was a good opportunity for me to look at somebody who does something similar in a different way. I'm kind of talk to him about what does he feel when he hears that first time that somebody sings and he knows that they're gonna be huge, right? And he couldn't, his answer was shit. In the same way that my answer is shit to you right now, right? I don't know. What I know is that I just go now. It's literally so ridiculous. I'm almost embarrassed by the lack of answer for this. I pay attention, I put in my work, I watch people, I do silly real life data stuff look at the app store and there's some yellow app at the bottom, download it. I'm a practitioner. Hey, I'm traveling, weird. That yellow app that showed up at 1:30 in the rankings that's staying there and hasn't moved out yet, I've seen that yellow app on a lot of 14-year-old girls at the airport. That's actually, by the way, if you ever hear that I got arrested, I am not a creeper. It's just that I'm really all up in on teenagers' phones when I'm at the airports. Some dad almost beat the shit out of me the other day.
What did you find? Did you find anything?
Snapchat happened for me that way.
Yeah.
The reason I was so early on Snapchat was it kind of popped a little bit on the bottom of the charts. And then because luckily, honestly, no joke, luckily it was yellow. You wanna talk about something easy to see? Like when people I'm like, I'm seeing that a lot. Just started digging. But when I decide all in, like I have with Snapchat, it's usually just a combination of pure math and a lot of intuition, right? Some things don't scale. Some things you were just given, right? And I feel like I really understand people. Like at the ultimate, I think I'm the ultimate salesman. I think to get really crazy deep, the reason I'm a happy person is because I truly think I can manipulate anybody. And the fact that I don't do bad things with that makes me feel super at peace with myself. Seriously, dude, like honestly, I think that my IQ, I don't even know what it is. I should probably I'd probably make a good post. I should probably figure out what my IQ is because I don't know what it is, but I'm super not excited about it. But I, in my will, have a line that says, if humans ever figure out how to quantify EQ, I want to be dug up and tested. Because I truly believe that I am all time.
That's your
100%.
Yeah.